I apologize if I sound a little nasally today. It's been over a week, but I'm still recovering from an illness. Hi everyone, welcome back to Needle Workshop. My name is Emily and I'm here today to show you how to assemble the water dancer pattern which we've just put out. We have the full costume pattern available for sale online, along with a super detailed written tutorial that includes tons of extra info such as how to properly measure yourself, how to print the pattern, material suggestions, and incredibly in-depth instructions. We also have a few pieces of the outfit available as individual listings in case you're not interested in the full bundle. All these wonderful patterns will be available at NDLWRKshop.com. As always, I suggest making a mock-up before starting. This is really important since no two bodies are exactly the same. So this will allow you to test the fit and make any necessary tweaks before potentially ruining some very expensive fabric. Also keep in mind that all our seam allowances are 1 centimeter from the edge unless specified otherwise. I also want to warn you that the video tutorial varies ever so slightly from the written one. After making the costume, I was able to condense and optimize some of the steps for the written tutorial. It'll still be handy for you to have access to both though. And without any further ado, let's get started. Start by placing your front left side collar pieces to one of the pair of the back collar pieces, right side to right side at the shoulder seam. Sew together and iron the seam allowance open. Place the front right side collar piece to the second pair of the back collar pieces, right side to right side, and sew together. Iron the seam allowance open. Take out your front left side piece. Start by sewing your dart shut and then overlock the shoulder and side seams. Take out your left back side and overlock at the shoulder, side seam, and center back. Once you have your piece overlocked, sew to your left front piece right side to right side at the shoulder and side seam. Sew at the side seam from the top all the way down to the hip notch. Take the right side up piece of the left collar pieces and right side to right side, align it to your previous piece, making sure to align all your notches. You see me hesitate here and it's because I realized that I need to overlock the sides of my collar first. Make sure to iron the seam allowance up towards the collar. Also, do not overlock that seam. Overlock your armhole and set the piece aside. Take out your other back piece. Overlock the side seam and shoulder seam. Take out the right front side piece and overlock at the shoulder seam and side seam. Sew the two pieces together, right side to right side at the shoulder only. Iron the seam allowance open. Take out the right side up, right side collar piece and right side to right side, align it to the tunic. Make sure to align your notches and sew together. Iron the seam allowance up towards the collar. Do not overlock the seam allowance. Overlock the center back. Take out the matching left side collar that forms the pair to the one we just installed. Overlock its center back and hem before aligning it to its pair, right side to right side, and sewing them together at the neckline. Cut some notches into the seam allowance and iron the seam allowance towards the collar lining. Sew them together with an understitch. Turn the lining towards the inside when done and iron flat. Secure the two pieces together with a stitch in the ditch starting at the shoulder seam all the way to the front. Do not sew down the back area. Bring back out your left bodice piece. Take out its matching collar piece. Overlock the side seam and center back seam of the loose collar piece, and then right side to right side, sew it to its matching piece at the neckline. Once again, cut notches into your seam allowance and sew this seam allowance to the collar lining. Turn the lining inward and iron flat. Take back out your other bodice piece. Align the collar lining of the left side over the front right side. Pin together, making sure to align all your notches as you do so. Sew together with a straight stitch first, and then overlock the full hem of the collar lining and right front bodice piece. Stitch both left side collar together with a stitch in the ditch, starting at the shoulder all the way to the right side seam. Do not sew down the back side. Right side to right side, sew the right side front and back together at the side seam. Sew from the top all the way down to the hip notch. Once that's done, overlock your armhole. Here I'd made a few mistakes, such as forgetting to close my back darts, so we'll go ahead and do that and iron the darts down towards the center back. I also sewed my side seams too low, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that up. Next, we'll be installing our zipper at the center back. We'll be linking a detailed video on how you can do that. Link will be in the description box below. I've also went ahead and sewn in my hook and eye. Now that your zipper is installed, go ahead and sew down the back collar pieces with a stitch in the ditch. Next, take out your sleeve pieces and overlock all of your side seams. Right side to right side, fold your sleeve in half, align your side seams, and sew together 1 centimeter from the edge. Afterwards, overlock your armhole and your hem. Fold your hem inward by 1 centimeter and top stitch in place 7 millimeters from the edge. Align each sleeve to its proper armhole. The single notch indicates the front, while the double notch indicates the back. You'll need to gather the crown of your sleeve beforehand to make the process easier. More info on this will be provided in the booklet. Next, we'll be applying the white trim at the hem. Align the wrong side of the trim to the right side of the tunic's hem, front trim at the front, and back trim at the back. You'll need to sew it in place with a top stitch all around 3 millimeters from the edge. Next, we'll need to apply our little wave design using a satin stitch technique. Optionally, you can also use paint or use vinyl application for this step. You'll first want to trace the wave's curve onto your fabric. I'm using my tracing wheel to punch a few holes into my paper and then lightly pressing with my crayon to get my curve traced. I then use a satin stitch technique to get my embroidered detail. For more info on satin stitching, please check our video tutorial on the application for the Cloud Ninja pattern. Video will be linked in the description box below. Once all your little wave patterns are done, You can use the same technique to finish the inner hemline of the trim. Make sure to iron everything flat afterwards. Take out your hem lining pieces. Overlock the inner edges first, and then, right side to right side, align the hem lining to the hem of the tunic. Sew in place with a straight stitch 1 centimeter from the edge along the sides and the hem. Cut the excess seam allowance from the corners before turning it inside out. You can gently push out your corners using your scissors. Iron the hem flat and then top stitch the 2 pieces together, making sure to follow the satin stitching closely as you do so. Last but not least, top stitch the rest of the side seam allowance. And with that, you are done. Alright everyone, I hope this video tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. If you like this kind of content, then please give it a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of all our upcoming video tutorials. As always, I also highly suggest checking us out on our social media platforms, since you'll see a lot of updates there and a lot of info that you won't find here on YouTube. The links to those will be in the description box below. And if you ever use any of our patterns, please let us know. We love to see and share your beautiful work. So yeah, I believe this concludes today's video. I'm gonna go rest up now. So until next time, good luck with your projects, guys. Bye bye.